So good morning. I'm working on the turned legs. Very, very important for this piece, how it interacts with the floor, how high it is, the scale of the legs. I'm really committed to this idea of going down this path right now, having turned a trial one just to see what it's gonna look like, and slipped it under the chest, even though it's a little high, it gets cut off at that parting line. I liked it. I liked it well enough. I think there's some scale problems with it. So what I did was I said, before that, I just keep on experimenting on the lathe. Let's go and draw this full scale and really get a sense of what's going on here. What's the taper like? Where is that line where the brass goes? How does this work up here with the tenons? Are they going to be strong? Are they going to be rooted in the body of the turning rather than, fragile on the edge of this collar here? How does it relate to the chest? And you can see I've got this molding right there that I'm also going to do. That's an important part of it. It's sort of a shape that you're going to get on the outside here. So starting from this, made that a little bit refined, tried a trial one, and then I did a real one. And I did pretty well. This is not quite as straight as I'd like to be. It's a little bit of roundness here, which is okay. I can live with that. I turned it just as big as I could get out of my 10-quarter block. There's a little bit of original oxidation, as you can see here, right there. That's okay. That can be the back of the leg. It's smoothed up, ready for ebonizing if I go that route. And I like the way the different shapes work together. I think that collar, as we can call it that, is good. I think that the amount of space up here for the tenons is plenty. It's going to be nice and strong. And so I've just been getting my tools sharp, and I'm ready to go onto the lathe with another one and turn another one to see what happens. And I'm going to shave this block down quite a bit. But I'm working with 10-quarter stock because I really believe that it's better to have a solid piece for these legs. Not because they'll be stronger in the end, but because if I glue them together out of two 8-quarter pieces, let's say, or an 8-quarter and a 4-quarter, whatever it is, I think in time they're going to move a small amount, and they're going to be be able to be seen under the ebonization that I'm going to be probably doing on these legs. So I'll show you the different parts on the. Okay, here we are at the lathe. So as I'm working along here, I've got various gauges that will tell me the depth of the indentation, the size of the collar at the top, the size of the toe, and I've also got a gauge that helps me line everything up. I'll show you that in a bit. So I've got it roughly turned out. You see I've got some spots here I've got to work on. I'm going to do a little more work with a skew, just trying to get this toe a little better. Now, as I said, I've got little calipers set up for various parts. I'm just going to turn this, by the way, so just that disappears. I'm very close there. This I already established, and I've got a gauge that's very interesting. It locks into the various parts here, and you can see how this is the length of it. I'm not anywhere near there. I'm going to cut this later on. I've got that little indentation where the brass wire is going to go later on. I've got this bead to do. I've got a little more work to get that in the right position here, but that'll give me a very accurate way to get this entire toe exactly the same as the rest of them. So let's just taper this just a little bit. It needs a little bit more. A $10 trick for those of you that aren't as good on the lathe is the plane. Bring that into a nice taper. important is to just break this toe a little bit. And this has got a little work here too. Okay, got some cutting to do in here. I find this kind of a tool that I made out of a plow plane blade is the best way for me to get a little fine cut like this. It's a scraping cut. And I'm going to go until this just fits, which is about where I am now. After a while, when you start doing this, you get almost to be able to do it by eye. Now I've got this one to do. That is that little cut relating to the brass wire. Okay? I made a little tool out of an old chainsaw file. Basically, it's a little parting tool, a little square end. Just going to drive it in. Get the right depth. And then take a piece of the wire that's going to go in there and kind of burn it in. It sizes it right up perfectly. Okay, I've got a little more work to do, but that leg is about 95%